Back to Prairie Ground in Houston, Texas, and it's afternoon time, Texas time. So we say good afternoon to you. You may be looking at the lush green outfield. Game number 2 about to start. Kings 11 Dallas against St. Louis Americans. One game just being completed.
Dallas Exfoliate Giants versus Michigan Cricket Stars.
Well, there's another actually correction coming up. So you got the teams. What? Let's hear from. Let's hear from you.
It's going to be the Dallas Exfoliate Giants versus the Michigan Cricket Stars here this afternoon. Definitely looking forward to this fixture.
So just a little bit correction. Then I had Dallas Exforia
Giants.
The two losers from yesterday.
So it's the two losers from yesterday, not the two winners. So the Giants versus
Michigan Cricket Stars.
Michigan Cricket Stars.
The two losers from this venue yesterday.
So the two losers from this venue clashing. So let's just get that right again. Thanks to the correction, our scoring team. Dallas Exforia Giants against Michigan Cricket Stars. This will be the second game of today. And the game just completed where Metroplex registering their second win, this time by quite a margin. The Metroplex Tracers beating the Chicago Tigers by 40 runs. That was a big scoring match where the Metroplex squad put on 204 for 2. Some good batting from Boji, 77, 52 balls. Ranjani, 42 of 16 balls, 5 sixes, 1 4. And then we had Joshua Trump, 60 in 41 balls. Nothing much to talk about for the Chicago Tigers, except Sohail. So Dallas batting, right? Okay, so welcome back. Welcome back. We had to just sort out some little issues, and we have done that. So we're back to the original, what I was saying to you, Kings 11 Dallas. In game number 2, against St. Louis Americans, wide signal by the umpire. So they're off to their start, over number 1 in progress. And I was just hinting to you a little earlier, they had a game where the Tigers lost their game, Chicago Tigers, to Metroplex Tracers. So Metroplex recording their second victory. They won their game yesterday, and they came back today and defeated the Chicago Tigers by 40 runs. Quite a margin because they posted 204 for 2 Metroplex. So game number 2. And so we see that Dallas, Kings 11 Dallas, they won the toss and they've elected to bat over number 1 in progress. Delvin Neblett is sitting in with me. Good afternoon, Delvin. You look like you're really well fed. You put on some 10 pounds, I understand, since you arrived here this morning.
Good afternoon, I'm Chan. And it's probably since I arrived here yesterday, I would have added those 10 pounds. Quite a feast on offer here during the luncheon interval. Raman Dar and Umuk Chand. Those are the opening batters in favor of the Kings 11 Dallas.
Lamba operating from this end. He's pretty brisk and hurrying in to deliver gingerly, may I say. So they're off to a quiet start, Dallas, Kings 11 Dallas. And so just taking it casually, pretty tight over up to now from Lamba.
And I think the over is just about concluded, Naim. Good over from Abimanyu Lamba, even included a wide, but it's still just conceded 4. Here we have a look at the squads. This is the batting side, the Kings 11 Dallas at the wicket. Dar and Chand. We've got the batters to come, Ruben Clinton, Corey Anderson, one of the big names in this lineup, Jacob Espinal, De Silva. We've got Sheik, a lot of power at the back end of this innings here. Adam Khan, Sandhu, and Shimpi.
Risba is the first name for Shimpi. So we had a nice game just a few minutes ago that concluded. Saw some pretty good batting from Boj. 77 off 52 balls. Ranjani, 42, 5 sixes and a 4. Joshua Trump, 60 from 41 balls. And Metroplex beating their opponents, Chicago Tigers, by 40 runs. Chicago Tigers responding with 164 for 9, chasing 205 to win the game. So brilliant sunshine here in Texas. It's always kind of bright, lush green grass, just everything just brilliance pervading the atmosphere. Let's hope we have a good match. Dar settles.
Good start from Nasir Jamali. He's bowling right arm around into the batter, Raman Dar. We've seen in excess of 200 so far already. How many will these Kings 11 attain?
Frustration from Chan, and I'm not accustomed seeing Chans being frustrated by anyone. And that's why I spell my name Chan. So you understand where the difficulty is coming from, the last letter. But why would you be frustrated in over number 2? He was charging down the pitch. I'd like to think you want to assess things. Jamali comes in again, squared up on the offside. Now the power play is on, so the restrictions, there are limitations here. So from the time you get it square off on the middle of the bat, you're likely going to score a boundary.
Using the pace, cutting this one behind square, picking up his very first boundary, Ramandar.
Beautiful shot. It was played on the front foot, actually, so he's seeing the ball. There's not a lot of true pace on the pitch, and the bowlers are not tear-away fast bowlers like what you may see on the international stage. I like to think that Jamali is just about medium, fast medium. That's when you compare or juxtapose against what exactly is real pace. So I'd like to think that the batting side, the Dallas team, 11, they'd want to assess, they must try to compile with some kind of decency a score within the power play, somewhere in the vicinity of 50, 60 runs if they can get there, at least in the 40s.
Yes, certainly. This one, an aggressive stroke being played wide outside the line of the off stump, unable to make contact.
Dar is falling to temptation, and I must give Jamali some compliments here, because all his deliveries actually were hanging outside that line of the off stick. There's a solitary slip there for a catch, and Dar is responding. So feed him. That's the concept I believe Jamali has in mind, and the captain, because they have a solitary slip. Now, what's the excuse here? The last game, I keep questioning why these bowlers at just about half pace are bowling so many wides from yesterday to this morning. I think one of the sides bowled well over 8 the last time we checked. And this is not uncontrollable pace. You're just about medium. And I can appreciate when fast bowlers bowl no balls. But to bowl so many wides with consistency, that's another problem. Then your cricket has a problem. Then the franchise would have to spend some time with their coaches. Good delivery. Apart from that, Jamali has been on target. He's got at least, 4 dot balls. Good bowling. Just 1 wide. 2 overs gone. 9 without loss.
Very good start from the Americans. Just 9 runs off of the first 2 overs. Sedated start by the Kings 11 Dallas side. Here we have a look of the St. Louis Americans lineup. Good batters atop the order. Kanat and Anwar. And a couple of young players in the middle. Jamb. A couple of jams as well. We've got Badar, Vinakota, Kakar, Lamba, who we've seen with the ball already. Ilyas Rafiq, and of course, Nasir Jamali.
I'm very eager when I'm looking at the squads, without caps on especially, when you're able to understand the concept here for minor league, because all that I've been reading is that it's a league in which they'll concentrate on a lot of youth talent to develop them to feed into the major league. We've not seen any exceptionally young talent, young in age, cutting back from outside the off stump. But these guys are all young, many of them in their 20s, a couple of them are in their 30s. But I'm very impressed with some of the things I read about the leagues and with academies targeting the younger population from the schools. And I'm glad to hear this. 2 decades ago, when I checked, I don't think that was happening. So Cricket USA must have some commendation here. And the private franchises who are supportive, investing their monies in developing the kind of quality that it requires for the major league and upward mobility, talking about external championships, that you can enter and compete. I think it's a brilliant idea, and I really wish American cricket well. I'm pleased with the infrastructure. I wish many more states and cities can have investments where you have a chunk of the population big enough to impress the administration. So more infrastructure. Well bowled there, Lamba. I think the Americans have started off pretty well. Lots of dot balls here. And Dar is developing anxiety disorder. He's trying to cut away on several occasions. He's not getting it away. And Chand, on the other hand, he's not getting it away either. Over number 3 now, 10 without loss. Struggling here.
Good block holding delivery from Alamba this time. Just straying down the leg side. It beats the keeper and trickles into the boundary for 5 wides. Going to wait to confirm that it is in fact 5 wides. May have been a bit of pad on that. And yes, signaled 4 leg byes by the umpire. Score moves up to 14 without loss.
So it actually came off the pad. Good start here, Americans. Let's go. And I like the energy that these guys are putting into it nicely. Oh, beautiful fielding. Nice there. Good shot. Trifle short. He was in behind in a snap of time and pulled it into the onside with some amount of feral ferocity, may I say. A nice bit of fielding. Good cricket here.
Yeah, a bit of good cricket all round to finish that 3rd over. Rahman Dar really does look to be a good batter. His partner, no stranger to the big stage, Unmuk Chand. Also one of those players in this tournament to have represented the India under-19s at the World Cup level. He's also a 2012 under-19 World Cup champion. And he's also got IPL experience representing, well, a few franchises, the Delhi Daredevils, the Rajasthan Royals, as well as the Mumbai Indians. He was a part of a championship winning squad in 2025 in that outfit. So well experienced is Unmuk Chand. He's going to be looking to utilize every bit of that experience here today to propel the Kings 11 Dallas side to a respectable total here.
I like the approach of these 2 opening bowlers. Just it's another wide, but I like the approach, how they're running gingerly, quite athletic. I don't like to see opening bowlers lumber in. So this is pretty nice to look at, just that they got to cut down on the amount of wides I'm seeing. What I recall off of my fingers from 2 games yesterday, one this morning, and this would be game number 4. Off my head, what I remember, it could be 30 wides or so that I remember. This is not good. So Jamali, quite a good bowler to look at. You need left armers as well. Just getting it straight. Look at those stumps, and there's where I want you. And I've mentioned before, if you're a tear-away fast bowler, I can forgive no balls, but not excessive amounts, because you can't see where that crease is when you're charging in and you're a tear-away fast bowler. These guys are just about average, just about medium. Driven down the ground, gets a single. So runs are pretty scarce. 16 over number 4.
Yes, quite the modest run rate by the Kings 11 Dallas so far, just 4.8. Good tight bowling from the Americans' new ball bowlers. Naseem Jamali into his second over, just conceded 7 so far. Doesn't have any of those fielders in close, any of those catches that we oftentimes speak of in the early stages of an innings. This one is short and being pulled away. 4 runs. Ramandar looking to get a move on. Naseem Jamali has been good on this occasion, well too short. And Dar says, thank you very much.
Well, there's a man down at fine leg, so I think that was a very controlled shot by Dar. He didn't put a lot of bat into it, just helped it along its way. Yeah, Dar means business. I'm not going to sit by here and see my team not accumulate runs in the power play. He's charging down the pitch. He's attempting to pull into the leg side. Pretty busy body.
A bit of a French cut for a single on that occasion. Two deliveries remain in over number 4. Run rate has now moved up to 5.7. In comes Jamali. This one, it beats the batsman outside the line of the off stump quite brilliantly, looking to go through covers and very close to that outside edge, Naeem Chan.
That's what I like, especially left armers. And he's coming over the wicket, so he's slanting it across the right-handed batsman, Chand. I would have thought if you have this batting side just tied down a little bit, I would have held out for that slip just a while more, just for when Jamali is bowling and slanting that ball. Because you can afford that simply because the batsmen are not getting it away. And so you have that opportunity to have your left-hander slanting across the right-handed batsman, quite possibly can get the outside edge. End of 4, 21 without loss.
Four decent overs from the St. Louis Americans so far. They haven't picked up a wicket as yet. And that's what they're going to continue to look for. Captain has to try as best he can to continue to be aggressive. Still in the early stages of this match, just 4 overs completed. Mandar is back on strike.
but I hope I'm calling his name correctly. We're going to have a changing bowling. So Jamali has been brought off. Ilyas operating now from this end, or the commentary end.
Starts with a ball into the pad of Ramandar. Umpire signals leg by. Mohamed Ilyas, I reckon he's just going to be looking for that line just outside the line of the off stump. He's going to be looking to employ a good length to bring those fielders on the offside and that slip fielder into play. Right on that line of the off stump. And the fielders are beaten. A bit too much width on off on that occasion. That's the plan. You can tell from the way his field is set. He was going to bowl that line. But just piercing the fielders on this occasion, Unmuk Chand. That packed offside field, none of them could do anything to prevent that boundary.
Well, he must take some kudos there. He knows that the restrictions are on, and there are not people outside of that circle easily. So if I go there, I'm going to lift it, sit it outside the reach of the inner field.
Yeah, we were speaking of all his experience with Mukchand. As this one beats him outside the line of the off stump. A bit of extra pace on this occasion for Milius. He's also played in the Big Bash in Australia, so pretty much all around the world. Now finds himself plying his trade in the United States.
And it's so beautiful to have members of the Major League intermingling and rubbing shoulders with players in the minor league. Like a wild card appearance. You learn so much from the senior men. In the air, just dropping short. So you need all the star players to be mixing up. You've got youngsters, they learn, they hear. These guys guide, advise, give you tips on the game. And that's what makes it good. Where I live, they've got little youth academies. Demerara Cricket Club, all the Roger Harpers, the Lance Gibbs and the Clive Lloyds. That's their club from years ago. So every time these stars are in the club, they mix, they call these youngsters, correct them, and pass on tips. Short, but good eyesight there from Chand, in behind, putting it into the onside. You go across to the other club, the Georgetown Cricket Club, the famous border. Many scores of great players that played there. Hoopers, the Sarwans, Chandapals. So you have these little academies going, Maltinos. So that's extremely good.
Yeah, Ilyas is quite a good bowler, Naeem. He's played 9 matches so far, picked up just about 15 wickets. And what's important to note, gets most of his wickets by bowled.
I think these batsmen are rising to the occasion. Okay, they've started off a little slow. Like we see Metroplex, they started off slow and gradually they stepped on that gas, not in an incessant way, but gradual. And they posted a huge total, 204. And the first wicket producing 127 for the opening stand. That's what I like to see. Everything worked for them, despite the fact that we saw several wides from people who you'd like to assume are the main bowlers.
5 overs completed. Two batters, Raman Dar on 12 and Unmuk Chand on 8. Dar, 38 matches in the minor league so far. He's averaging just under 25, 24 and a half, and he's not a quote-unquote ball beater by any means. Strikes at just about 101. So he's the type of batter who's going to look to rotate the strike and perhaps feed into the more aggressive stroke play of Unmuk Chand.
But I like the energy I'm seeing, the batsmen as well as the fielders, the bowlers, they're all moving around gingerly, kind of highly animated. That's nice. That's cricket. You're not old men. Get out there and move.
That's right, you got to keep it moving. Unmuk Chand is going to look to keep this Kings 11 Dallas innings moving. He is their premier batter. He's got 2 centuries in the minor league, averaging just about 39. Unable to get a single on that occasion. He's got 12 half centuries to go with it, Naeem.
Wow. Very, very impressive. Jamali gives you the impression he knows exactly what he's about also. He's trying to slant it across the right-hander. And the captain, of course, working his strategies. But if I were the captain, I think I would have wanted a slip. Jamali is going very close to that outside edge. There you go, but pulled away this time. Good shot. This guy means business.
He sure does. If you miss with your length, you're going to be punished. Welcome boundary from Unmuk Chand.
And if you notice, that ball is not very short. So Chand has got good eyesight, off of a good length. Of course, it's not a tearaway fast bowler. Just about medium going upwards. But he had to have extremely good eyesight. But he's encouraging Jamali because of his attacking mode and his aggressive style. Jamali is thinking he can get that outside edge. That's why I'm thinking that slip would have been necessary. I mean, it's a wide, but if you see the intention of Jamali, trying to slant it, but you have no one out there to take the catch if this guy gets an outside edge, just a wicket keeper.
And though hitting down the ground is one of his strengths, Unmuk Chand, he's also been dismissed multiple times, caught long on, long off. So it might be a good ploy just to attempt to set a trap for Unmuk Chand. You know, once he gets going, he can be very dangerous. He's one of those batters who tends to bat long once he gets settled. Maybe just try to bait him into doing something out of character in the early stages of his innings.
Block hole. Good work, Jamali. He's gone for 17 already, 18 now. He's into his third over.
And there we see the Jam brothers, Adnit and Arnav. Striking resemblance. Can't confirm that they are in fact twins, but definitely siblings.
I don't like twins, because I'll tell you why. There are 2 persons that played for Guyana. I wouldn't call those names. But one of them, I had a love letter from a girl to deliver. He was batting with his twin brother. I took it to the wrong brother.
Down the leg side for a wide. Quite an interesting time to deliver a love letter while someone is at the crease, Naeem.
It gets worse when they're twin sisters. You end up in the wrong location. 34 without loss. Quite a good start, just a little bit slow. But it's good to know that the batsmen have kept their wicket intact.
A bit of an off cutter. Starting wide outside the off stump and cutting back. Just a single to the offside. Hans Akimbo, Naseem Jamali. Perhaps starting to get a bit tired. He's into his third over. Has bowled 3 on the trot.
Slightly slower ball. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. I see the energy here. And Jamali gives you the impression that anytime he's likely to get a wicket, he seems to know what he's about. He has a slightly niggling problem on the leg. Slightly held back there. And I was making the point that if you're playing cricket and 4 overs is giving you a hard time to bowl, you got to check again on your fitness. Check on your fitness. And we know these cricketers, they appear slim, healthy, young, energetic, but that's not a good sign. Corey Anderson, I see his name there as well.
Yeah, he's dangerous. And a lot is definitely expected from him on this franchise. A lot also expected from Unmuk Chand. He's now on 14 off of 17. Classy player. .36-run partnership. Run a ball.
The good thing, both men seem to know what they're about, the 2 batters out there. So that score could climb with time. I'll tell you something. You will look at cricketers, you know when a team is organized. Yeah, the fielding team looks pretty organized in their movement, their body language, and the batting side, judging from these 2, look as though they're well organized. So getting that score up, you get the distinct impression it wouldn't be so difficult. And of course, looking at the bowlers so far, I think they knew exactly what they were about. Saw a couple of wides here or there, but generally.
A lot of attention on the field placement here.
Wrong line. Middle and leg going further down the leg side, off spinner. I like to assume you've got to come somewhere between middle and off, turning into the batsman, depending what plan you have in mind. But if you're going to bowl down the leg side, you're hoping to get an edge, maybe forward short leg, backward short leg.
Yeah, Usman Rafiq, an experienced campaigner, 52 wickets from 43 matches. And hunting some more wickets here today. Usually tries to tempt batters to hit down the ground and hold out in the boundary. He's going to offer some flight. He's going to give the ball the opportunity to do something off of the surface.
Dar looks a little bit impatient. Not that he's spilling his temper. I think he's still pretty cool, but he just wants to get on with it. And he understands why this is over number 7 already, when they should have been like a good batting side, 60, 70, 80 runs maybe, at least 60, 50, somewhere. They're 39, and he knows that.
The impetus has got to come from somewhere. If they maintain this run rate of 6 runs per over, they're only going to get 120. In my opinion, that's not going to be anywhere close to enough.
But you got to give kudos also. I think the bowling has been pretty good. Quiet period. It's like nothing is happening. A wicket hasn't fallen. Runs not flowing. But everyone is moving quite gingerly. Good bowling. And as Delvin pointed out, this guy is experienced, Rafiq. End of over number 7, 41 without loss.
Yeah, the two batters just buying their time. They must have the belief that if they're able to keep wickets intact, they will eventually get to a total that they are happy with. Seeing that in the earlier fixture. A modest run rate in the first 10 overs, and then acceleration in the final 10.
Nice smell coming out of the kitchen. See Madam Ria Daniels just manufacturing one meal after another. You understand why Delvin has put on 15.6 pounds from yesterday to this morning. This is good batting, nevertheless. Somewhere along the line, I seem to feel the confidence in the batsmen. Like they're in charge, good bowling. They're having good bowling against them, but they seem generally to know exactly where their head is, and they know it's on their bodies, on their shoulder. But they're coming up against some very good bowling. Good match.
It's been minimal risk so far from the two batters. Nothing extravagant. Just looking to preserve themselves. A short delivery. Pushed into the offside for a single. Good running. Good running between the wickets. Very key. Even in an effort to preserve your wickets for those final 5 overs. Most teams try to keep as many wickets in the hut as possible before launching in the final 5. But even in the process, you've got to make the most of every run on offer. It starts with running well between the wickets.
All sorts of concepts. The back end, the front end is very important also during the power play because of the restrictions. But if the bowling is good, then you can't take advantage of the power play. And that's what's happening here. Nicely pitched up. Can't get it away.
Yeah, looking to go straight. The ball just taking the inner portion of the bat down towards long on. Bowling well so far, Mohamed Ilyas. Going at a runner ball. 9 runs off of his 9 deliveries so far.
Yes, generally good stuff. Good cricket out there. And that's what you want to see. Not a good delivery. Just keeping a trifle low. And Chan had to adjust. You can actually see that he was like hop-frogging, just lurching forward at the last moment. And I was talking earlier this morning that these wickets have played pretty good. Quite even bounce, nothing strange happening. And that could give an account why Metroplex got over 200.
You might have seen 1 or 2 at most. Keep a little bit lower than I would have expected.
Nicely taken down the leg side. And that could be on account of what part of the ball drops on the pitch. You can have all that, how the bowler grips it in his hand.
Ramandar has got to go. The umpire raises his finger, reckoning he did get a bit of a feather onto that one through to the keeper. So it's the very first wicket and a breakthrough coming from Mohamed Ilyas. Well bowled. The score will now be 45 for 1 in the 8th over. Finally getting the breakthrough. And Ramandar, he looked good for 17 off of 25. His innings has now come to an end.
Well, it's just a pity from a batting perspective to see the back of Dar, because something is telling you that he's capable of exploding. Very busybody, in absolute command, no chance or chances. He had to go. And so who's had the last laugh? The bowling side. They've kept nagging, just haunting the batsmen with a good line, good length. We've seen a couple of them straying wides, but I'm getting accustomed to that by now. But certainly, it is a good battle out there.
Good stuff by these bowlers. Just one bowler over that 6 run per over mark, and he's just at 7, so has been decent. They've created the pressure, enough pressure for them to eke out that wicket of Ramandar.
They're going just about a runner ball almost. So the run rate 5.74. 7 6 is 42 and 5, 47 balls gone. They're 45 for 1. So they were showing the kind of temperament, the batsmen, the kind of temperament required. They weren't losing any wickets. Eventually, Dar went. Welcome, Clinton. Lots of presidential names, from Trump to Clinton. And lots of Indians in America play cricket. I'm not seeing any Modis.
Reuben Clinton in at 3. 21 matches under his belt. And he would have already amassed 675 runs at an average of 36.
8 gone, 45 for 1.
Kings 11, Dallas top order really is loaded with capable batters. Reuben Clinton, he's got 4 half centuries to his name. What is still a young career, he's got a high score of 92 and strikes it at just about 112. Unmuk Chan is going to be on strike for the commencement of over number 9. Bit of field adjustments being made by the wicketkeeper. Ball is driven down to the long off boundary, just a single.
Gripping. Gripping cricket. Who's getting the last laugh? The fielding side at the moment, St. Louis Americans had a laugh just now, but the score is not too bad. 45 for 1. Just got to up that now. Up the ante.
Usman Rafiq into his second over. And if it's up to him, it's going to be more pressure. Forget about upping the ante, Naim Chan. He's going to be looking to produce as many dot balls as possible. Perhaps even a wicket. This one is tossed up. Bit of an outside edge to the field at point. No run and offer.
But I see that Rafiq is not afraid at all to flight this ball. That was a lot of flight. Now that one was pushed through. So he's trying to gain variety here as much as possible to put the batsman thinking.
And that one a bit faster. Just looking to push that one through.
Got a lot of turn too.
It's what we love about spinners. We love to see them bring out the variations. Variety, it is the spice of life, Naim Chan. So we love to see when a bowler can go deep into his bag in an attempt to outfox his opponent.
I've seen many great bowlers with a huge repertoire of variety. And Rafiq is trying to display that. End of 9. 48 for the loss of 1. So Dallas winning the toss here in Texas, Houston, in the minor league. And they're taking first strike. I don't think that they've regretted taking first strike. Either way, I think the pitches have been quite even, Steven. Quite good behavior. Not flying fast. They don't have that kind of pace in the various bowling attacks. I've not seen any. So what they're doing, most of the teams, they're working for control. I must say that many of them didn't achieve that. But that's what they're working on. I'm not a tear-away fast bowler, but I'm just going to go medium. I'm just going to try as much as possible for control. Some have done it, some have not.
Getting ready for over number 10. We're going to have our first look at Ujwal Vinakota. Some more medium pace.
In the 10th over, any batting side in a T20 format would have hoped to be sailing close to 100, at least 80, somewhere there. Dallas, they're stuck there on 48. Maybe that's what they have to do. But the field is quite closely in, so cheeky singles are practically forbidden. But they've got to find a way to squeeze it through.
That's the key, finding a way. It's what great players do. Even amidst pressure, they find a way to score. Find a way to keep that scoreboard ticking over.
Rising delivery, catch taken. Oh, and another one bites the dust. Clinton goes. Look at that. While you're waiting to score, you're losing wickets. Clinton goes for 2. And the Dallas, who opted to bat first after winning the toss, because of that score, 48, you can safely say they're tottering a little bit.
Well, it was a perfectly executed plan. He set his field, did put the man out there exactly for that shot, and falling prey to some brilliant work. Ruben Clinton, unfortunately, just 2 runs added to his name, and he's now got to make his way back.
So the first wicket falling at 45, and all of this is happening before the 10th over. 45 for 1. Now Clinton goes off Vinakota, 48 for 2. So just 3 runs added between the 2 batsmen out there, and another one going.
Couple of wickets in quick succession. And a fight from the bowling side. Looking to restrict the Kings 11 Dallas to a modest total here. Current run rate 5.24. It won't be enough. As we see the experienced Corey Anderson make his way to the middle. What can he produce today? Just his second match in the minor league. Of course, we know that he's quite familiar with the major leagues around the world.
Not the most comfortable start. Gently nudging that one, getting it out of the way. So he's coming at a time, Corey Anderson, where it's not a healthy score. This is over number 10 in progress. They've not reached 50 as yet.
And he's going to be looking to get a move on in this tournament. A high score of just 3 so far. And now he's got a new high score as this one is driven handsomely down the ground for 4.
Wow. Like Sarge in charge. Just casually moving down with absolute disrespect. He's moving before the ball was delivered. So he confused the ball, I think. And I'd give him a nice little easy one to register.
He is a naturally aggressive batsman. Imposing by nature. He loves to get on top of the bowler. How is Vinakota going to respond? A bit too wide on this occasion. Hiding, oh, we missed Vinakota. You got to come a bit closer.
Vinakota, sometimes we're not always in the best position. But Vinakota is disappointed that that was called a wide.
Good call by the umpire. That line belongs to him. You've got to be inside of it. Better delivery this time. And a dot ball. Approaching the halfway point in this innings. Quiet start for the Kings 11 Dallas. However, they have managed to keep 8 wickets intact, which is quite important.
Corey Anderson is very busybody. Turning that once a single. Gets it 2. End of the over. So 10 gone. 5-4 for 2. I don't think that's the best position, but as you mentioned, very importantly, is to just They still have 8 wickets standing.
Yeah, winning the toss and batting 5.5 is not what you would like after 10 overs. They've got to find a way to up the scoring rate. 2 capable batters at the crease. Unmuk Chand is now been out there for 26 deliveries. Corey Anderson, he's got 5 from 5. A lot of damage being done from these bowlers. Every one of them exceptional so far. A wicket apiece for Mohamed Ilyas and Ujwal Vinakota. When we look at the economy rates of the other bowlers, Lamba, just 2.5 his economy rate. Usman Rafiq going at just 4 runs per over. And Jamali himself at just 7. Quite decent in an attempt to restrict.
But the batsmen are displaying that they know that there's now a bit of urgency. I think they were displaying that earlier on, but they just couldn't get away to bowling. Driven. Guess there's a man down at long off.
Apologize for a bit of an absence there, but a wicket has gone down. Corey Anderson, the powerful Corey Anderson, the dangerous Corey Anderson, he's gone. Easy catch. Noman Anwar into his first over and picking up the very dangerous wicket.
This bowling is proving that they're capable of holding back any aggression. They've been on target, very organized. Very, very organized. That's the St. Louis Americans. Dallas winning the toss and electing to bat. That's your scorecard. 3 wickets gone. So it was 45 for 8, 48 for 2, now 56 for 3.
Wickets falling consistency, changing the trajectory of this match here, Naeem Chan. Numan Anwar, the 6th bowler used here this afternoon, striking in his 3rd delivery. It is good to have options. Most sides have available to them just about 5 bowlers, and then you may have a few all-rounders to choose from. So when you've got more than those 5 options, it really is a luxury. Introducing your 6th bowler and having him pick up a wicket in the very first over is something definitely to be proud of.
What is good about the captaincy is that he's not afraid to look and try as much as possible, variety, more bowlers, and he's getting answers. They're answering the call pretty effectively.
Halfway through over number 11. Waiting to see who the new batter is. So the new batter is Jacobus Pinar. He comes out to join Ruben Clinton. Good delivery from Anwar. His over comes to an end. It goes for just 3, as well as the important wicket of Corey Anderson. 11 overs now complete. The run rate sinks further to 5.1. More needs to be done here as it relates to the fluency, the rate at which the runs are being scored. This innings is desperately in need of a spark, a bit of life. Who's going to put up their hand? Is it going to be Pinar? Is it going to be Ruben? He's been out there for quite a while.
And when the batting side, they opted to bat after winning the toss. When they started off, you got the distinct impression they know exactly what they're about. But now the whole picture is changing. I think the bowling side knows what they are about. They've kept things tight, more than the usual quota of bowlers used. I think they're on top of their game.
Yeah, the radio are doing quite well here. Great execution, disciplined performance so far in the field. This one strikes the batsman on the pad. His partner was interested in a leg by send back, and the return comes in and breaks the stumps. Fortunately for him, he's well home.
That one came back from outside off stump, getting into the left-handed batsman. Not out, says the umpire, who obviously feels that that would have been going down the leg side.
And also a bit too high, in my opinion.
What's going on here? It's going into the boundary. Little glitch on our internet service, so you got to look at that on the replay. Scooped almost. Yeah, that's, you heard about paddle sweep. That's paddle scoop.
Yeah, good shot there by Ruben Clinton. He knows where those fielders are not. And of course, we speak about these batters spending a lot of time on the training grounds to perfect shots like those, to get themselves runs and get themselves off of strike. This one is going to be pulled for a single. Jacobus Pinar. Where's he going to be looking to go? Delivery back of the length. He just pushes it to long off. Only a single on offer. He's got a wealth of experience. Has Jacobus Pinar, 45 matches under his belt. And he would have already amassed 1,373 runs at an average of 40. So quite the accomplished batter. He's got a century to his name as well as 6 half centuries. And what is interesting to note is that he usually strikes it at about 149. I know for a fact that I call in the name of the person that's seen out there, not what they got to pay anymore. 12 overs gone. The Kings 11 Dallas side, they find themselves on 65 for 3. 8 overs remain, and they're not going to be happy with the current rate of scoring by any means. Brilliant performance from the bowling side so far. Can't take anything away from them. They haven't given away too many chances to score to these Kings. And rightly so, after picking up a wicket in his very first over, Naman Anwar is given a second by his captain. Reverse sweep. Jacobus Pinar looking to get a move on. Not quite middling that one, just a single in the end.
St. Louis Americans on top of the job, getting the job done. And all these bowlers that they have tried, you might be able to tell us how many bowlers were tried. 6. That's one is reverse swept. Let's see if that had crossed the rope. Flush, 6 runs. Thank you, umps. Good shot. Takes the tension off. Got that one really right.
So it's taken them 12 overs to decide that playing the ball on its merit and waiting for the bad balls is not going to get them to the total that they need. So they've started to improvise. 6 off of this over. And good running on that occasion as well.
Yes, they're checking for the 2 to convert 1 to 2. They had all the time in the world to do it then. That's what they have to do. They got to dig themselves out of this rut. And what it tells you, it's not necessarily the batsmen's fault. I think it's all kudos to the bowling. All the bowlers used, we had our spills here and there, wides, but basically they've been on top. Down the ground. That one looks as though it was well struck. Yes, it is. Clears. There's a wide long off, wide long on. So straight back past the bowler, just to his right shoulder, and clearing the boundary rope.
And a big over here so far. Just about 16 runs.
Now they need a couple of that to swing back this pendulum This pendulum was dragging towards the Americans, and the Dallas squad, they needed that. Inject some fury, inject some adrenaline, even if it's steroids, but just get going. Time's running out on you. So I think they're coming back, fighting.
It looks like we're going to see some pace being reintroduced into the attack. Coming in for his third over is going to be Abimanyu Lamba. He's bowled well so far, just 5 runs off of his 2 overs. Miserly economy rate of 2.5. This time he's going to be looking for some wickets.
Dallas side, they need to get to that 100 by the end of 15 overs. That will give them 5 overs to do whatever they want to muster another 50, 60 runs. That's providing the bowling or the bowlers don't get more wickets. That's just being optimistic. Deception there, slow one from Lamba. These guys have been on target. Clinton getting on top of it.
He decided to go into the surface while taking pace off. Almost lured Jacobus Pinar into attempting a big stroke. Just decided to roll his wrists over that and keep it down in the end. Over number 14 in progress. And another slow ball deceives the batsman. One bounce in front of the keeper and he can't save it. They scamper through for a bye. This is great stuff from Lamba. Tall, fast bowler. He's got good control and utilizing his variations to good effect.
Pinar supporting. Clinton has had a lot of, in a measured way, a good knock. 42 from 42, but that's run a ball. Should have been reading 42 from 30, 27, somewhere there, 25. But to go get a runner ball in over number 14, that's not exactly a healthy way to accumulate runs. So Pinar is going to turn over that strike as often as possible to Clinton. Should be seeing the ball quite clearer. He's been in there a long time.
Sure has. He's eyeing a 50. Short delivery pulled away into the leg side. Just a single in the end. Over number 14 comes to an end. Kings 11 Dallas 85 for 3.
So they've basically added just about 4 runs in this over. And I was admonishing them to get to that 100 by the end of 15. So it gives them a nice space of 5 overs coming at the back end to strut their stuff.
And they're going for the kill here. Usman Rafiq is going to remain in the attack. Minor league cricket in the United States. Boy, do we love this T20 format. And a lot of good cricket today so far. This match has been good, but largely in favor of the bowling side so far. Just experiencing a bit of technical difficulties with our information on screen. We're working towards having that corrected, and you're going to be able to view the correct information very shortly. But we can see that Usman Rafiq is into his third over. This one way too short. And a gift on off of a Jacobus Pinar. Takes it with both hands. Into the mid-wicket boundary for 4. Short again, pulled again, but this time the fielder comes around and picks up. Just a single in the end. And Usman Rafiq has now completed his third over. Yeah, this partnership of Clinton and Jacobus has been good, and it's going to be in the best interests of the Kings 11 Dallas side that they actually bat through all the way to the end of this innings. The Americans will be looking to remove either of them as soon as possible. In comes Muhammad Ilyas. Short, pulled, should get 2. A bit of improvisation. We love to see it. Innovation from the batter. Going offside and helping this one behind square on the leg side. Down to the fine leg boundary for 4. Waiting for the signal. And it's just signaled as one short for the over. One shoulder height for the over. No ball. Jacobus definitely asking the question. No, these Kings 11 Dallas members would welcome a free hit at this stage. Cut away to the offside. They're going to come back for two. Good shot by Clinton.
Outside edge. Well, enjoy your cricket wherever you are. That's another wicket going down. But you can enjoy because we're having just a bit of technical issues and glitches. So we're sorting that out, our boys. As soon as that comes back on, you'll be having your full report.
That there looked to be bold. Looked to just have clipped that off stump. Looks to be one delivery remaining in over number 16. And a single to end the over. It was a wicket taking over. Well bowled Mohamed Ilyas. 16 completed. Kings $11, 103 for 3. The new batter at the crease is Ali Sheikh.
So there you are. We're glad that we're sorting out little bits and pieces of technical glitches. So when they started off, we thought that they were going to get somewhere in the vicinity of 150 onwards. Not to be. These guys have held their own, the bowling side.
Usman Rafiq into his final over of his spell. He's been good. Wicketless so far, but just conceding the 18 runs. Jacobus Pinar, he's been out there for a while and must be looking to capitalize on these final 4 overs.
So wonder what they're thinking, the batting side, what they're thinking of an eventual total. Up to now, we're not seeing any reckless, extravagant stroke play. So they're probably working towards 17, 18 overs. Then they're going to give it a little try. So Rafiq, I don't want to see another one from a spinner wide. You've been quite on target.
Good stop. Driving that one very powerfully down the ground was Pinar. The bowler manages to save 4 runs on that occasion.
Well flighted, but too much a flight. And you're a slow bowler, you're going to get struck. Pinar dived into that one and hoisted it all the way towards the long on region, going towards mid-wicket.
He loves it in that area, really did tee off on this occasion. Middling and garnering 6 well-needed runs.
Well, I don't think that ball would go all the way into that ecosystem. The little jungle, but they're not finding it.
The ball is back. The ball is ready to finish off his over. Batter looking to go big once again. Who's going to win the contest? In comes Rafiq. Batsman unable to score on that occasion. Well bowled, dot delivery.
So on basic average, this innings should have been over, but they still have 3 overs remaining in the normal circumstances, and they have spinners operating. It's just that the movements, perhaps just a little bit slow. They've gone past 1.5 hours. The approximate time takes for a T20 average. So this has gone a little over. Yesterday we saw one innings taking a little over 2 hours. So somewhere along the line, the umpire's got to have a hand in that. Get the players to get accustomed to normal behavior, normal conduct, getting these overs over. So now they're going to take a while, set another field, bring a man from Timbuktu over to the Amazon region, and one from Texas over to New Delhi. And all of this is taking a lot of time.
Yeah, the minor league should be preparing you in all aspects of the game for the upward movement to the major leagues and international cricket. The rate at which these overs have been bowled is simply unacceptable, as we see a 6, which will be well accepted by the Kings 11 Dallas side.
Good shot there from Sheikh. Well, the earlier game today, by the time it concluded, it ended up on the time this game was supposed to start. So this game had to delay for half an hour. So just a little bit lengthy process. So now we're going to have a mid-pitch conference. They're probably searching for the ball. And then we might take a little time when the ball is back to set another field.
Yeah, Ali and Jacobus mid-pitch. The only thing they can possibly be speaking of is how can we get some boundaries? That's what is required. That's all that's required at this stage. You did the job. You managed to preserve your wickets. You've got 7 in the hut. Now it's time to go after the bowling. Plain and simple.
Pinar has had a good knock. 25 from 17. And the batsman to fall, Dar, who looked very, very set. He got 17 and 25. Clinton went for 2, is it? No, 32 of 39 balls. Corey Anderson 6 from 7 balls. But they found themselves just a little bit too slow in their scoring. And you can't blame them. They weren't getting the ball away. Slashed away this time by Pinar.
Modest run rate. 6.7. It's not going to be enough. They need a lot more from these final 3 overs. And another dot ball. Well bowled Lamba.
Yes, these bowlers have been right on target for the most part. And the batsmen were unable to really devour loose deliveries. On occasions they did. But then it's reflective on the total there. 116. I think they would have had in their mind 150 and above. Good delivery. Cramped for space. Looking to pull it away down the leg side. Too close up to the batsman.
Two deliveries to come in the 18th over. Where is Sheikh looking to hit this one? He's looking leg side. He connects, just finds the fielder. Safe catch. And another wicket goes down. It's the 4th wicket. Ali Sheikh. He's perished in the 18th over. Well bowled Lamba. Picking up his first wicket after bowling quite a tight spell. Just 15 runs off of his 3.5 overs so far.
So after a very long wait, we're going to see a new delivery being bowled or another delivery. I just think that the process is being dragged out too much, because this is going to go towards 2 hours.
Mohamed Ilyas into his final over here. Figures of 2 for 18 so far from his 3. So an economy rate of just about 6 runs per over prior to the commencement of his 4th. He's going to be looking to go for at most 6 or below that, just to maintain his consistency. In he comes for his second delivery, and it's driven handsomely down the ground. No chance of a fielder saving that. One bounce over the rope for 4.
Yes, good shot there. Malhotra stamping his authority as soon as he comes in, because Ilyas has been quite on target. But that one is in the spot. In the slot there. So just a mighty heave, a mighty swing of the bat from Malhotra. Just takes away the good quality figures of Ilyas.
Looking to pull that one, not middling. One leg by added to the total. 9 deliveries remain.
And now somebody's not ready. We're into 1 hour 47 minutes into this innings. So it's just dragging out a little bit. Now the umpire is going to have a discussion. I'd like to think that he's in charge, and if there's something bothering him, he's got to have a little discussion on it. And we still have an over to go, but the disruptions and the discussions, the long delays have been quite evident in this particular innings. The last game, we had a similar situation, over 2 hours. Good, let's go, Ilyas. Into the block hole, struck down the ground, just a single. It's not like the batters don't want to give a heavy hand, but generally the bowling has been quite good and on target. Yeah, sometimes, thanks very much, cameraman, to give us a little wide shot so we can have an appreciation of the field placing. Full toss. Just a single.
Jacob Espino has been out there for quite some time. Finds himself on 31 from 21. Still not enough. The total, with 7 deliveries to come, 126.
Well, at least if they can scrape home towards the 150 mark, it'll be quite decent. And it would be an unfortunate thing for the bowling side because they've bowled well. So they might just get, if they get to 140 now, they should be happy. fighting total, not exactly an absolutely confident total, but fighting. If they have a good bowling attack, we'll have a see at that when the time comes around.
Yes, given the struggles they would have faced in this innings, I reckon they will be happy with a total of 140 if they can, in fact, get up to that many. They're going to need 13 in the final over if they're going to reach 140. A matter of 23 if they want to get to that 150 mark. It's not going to be easy. They're facing up against a clever bowler, Ujwal Vinakota. 2 overs for 14 runs so far. Quite decent in his approach. And he's been good with the extras, just one wide. In he comes for the 20th.
Good start. Good ball, good bit of feeling. Yes, let's get on with this game. In fine style. Let's see some good shots. That was a good delivery. Right up to the batsman. And that's what Vinakota has to do. So he's taking up the challenge. Get it right in the block hole. And the Dallas, the team, they would... that's what you want. Is that going to clear? Yes, it is.
The fielder really did look to be in with a chance. Perhaps a bit of misjudgment. But in the end, enough bat on it for a maximum.
So they're inching towards that 140. And from all thinking, it should be a fighting score. High in the air. Is someone going to settle there? Like the Titanic. Is anyone out there? One, 3-6. Let's see what Pinar can do. He's been out there for a pretty long time. And look at that run rate, 6.97. Not the most impressive. Should have been scoring and roaring a little more. Good one, Vinakota. Good last over. There was a 6 struck off of him. But he's had 2 in the block hole.
Two deliveries to come.
So when the innings finish, just say the score, don't say the wicket. I take it? Yeah. So what?
2 runs on that occasion.
He's gotten hold of that one. Well, this is a fine display coming down to the end. That's the end of the over. We'll have to wait until we aggregate the right totals. So that's a story from Prairie. Had some good knocks in between, but I don't think they're extra happy with the total. So 141 somewhere about. So we're going to be coming back at the start of the other innings. That's when the St. Louis Americans come to battle out, to chase down, and hopefully, from their perspective, to win. So we're going to be back in a few. You can just stand by and enjoy.
Action resumes here. The Minor League Cricket Tournament 2025. Match being contested between the Kings 11 Dallas and the St. Louis Americans. Dallas would have been limited to 146. So these Americans will need 147 for victory. Jacobus Pinas taking the new ball. He's created an opportunity. Corey Anderson unable to take the catch. Usually has a safe pair. This one is floored. Well, bowled by Jacobus Pinas. 4 deliveries so far, 4 runs. And the wicket! He's bowled him! First over, first wicket. Goodbye, Naman Anwar. He's lost his middle stump to a brilliant delivery from Jacobus Pinas. It's 4 for 1.
Bad start. Bad start here by St. Louis Americans, chasing quite a formidable total. What I thought would have been a fighting one, but it's looking now with a loss of an early wicket that it was a formidable total of 146. So they're on their way. St. Louis losing their first wicket, 4 for 1. Not looking good.
Not looking good at all. Who's looking good? Mr. Pinas did play an important hand with the bat. We spoke of sides employing these good all-rounders in their T20 setup. And after doing well with the bat, Jacobus Pinas has returned to take a wicket in his very first over. Brilliant stuff.
Well, we'd seen some relatively good bowling from Dallas. Now they're at the crease. Now the St. Louis Americans, they have that target of 147 to pull that down. Not a good start at all. Pinas in the air. It's no shot mid-off. It's all the way down to the boundary. And you could expect that. Pinas is a spinner. And so you'd want to have that protective position down at long off. 1 gone, 5 for 1.
Excellent start if you are repping for the Kings 11. Naman Anwar dismissed for 4. And the batters at the crease, Arya Kanantha and Arnav Jamb.
I like these names. They get your tongue twisting around for a while. Kananta. But that one is pretty easy to get right. But in a broadcasting career, you reach up with all these names. And if you're doing cricket, basically the ethical thing to do, you got a difficult name, you have to go ask them, How do you pronounce your name? Because according to their cultures, religion, there might just be another way. Or if it's French. So you have all these scenarios where names, and the thing is, each person is entitled to their names being pronounced the way they want it. Let's see what happens here. Good ball coming back. And Jam was jammed somewhere in the abdomen. Good delivery there. Shimpy.
Rishabh Shimpi.
He's very wiry. Sikandar backed out of Pakistan was something like that. Long, not tall, but long and dangerous. In the air, yes. What's going on here? They're giving it away. 2 wickets going down in over only number 2, 1.1. Now Jam is jammed out of his crease. Lordy. Well, the fielding team apparently knew the bowling power that they have. So 146 is quite nice. He was in no position. His body was in line with that ball, not away from it to get into the hook shot. He tried a thing, skyrocketed, ballooned up in the air, catch taken, simple one, and time to celebrate.
Yeah, a bit of left arm over. Rishabh Shimpi does have quite the popular cricketing name, Rishabh. Rushing the batsman, looking to pull a top edge, and easiest of catches by the bowler.
When Dallas was batting, they lost their first wicket at 45 for 1. St. Louis, they've lost their first wicket on the score on 4. Their second wicket, the score on 5. That's 1 ball into the second over. And Shimpy is pretty aggressive, getting that ball to lift appreciably. And Jam was in no position for the shot which he was attempting, which was to hook it down the leg side. It was right coming into his face.
No Naim, you're not seeing doubles. The batsman was given out, and the new batsman is in. He's got the same name, but this one is Adnit Jamb. Previously dismissed, Arnav Jamb.
Lots of jams there in the Caribbean. When you say you're jamming, it means you're partying. I like Shimpy. I like his cuts. I like the aggression. I think he's the most aggressive bowler I've seen in match number 3 up to now. That's turned away down the leg side. They're going to get a boundary here. So Shimpy just lagging outside the line and paid the penalty.
Yeah, just straying a bit on this occasion. Does seem to have a bit of pace about him. His physique reminds me a lot of Ishant Sharma in his younger days.
Exactly. I was looking to find out where and who this guy resembles. Well, India, they have produced so many outstanding cricketers. You know, these guys come and just fade away. Very talented people. You come and you're gone in a short while. That's why the concept of providing facilities, and that's why I want to congratulate Cricket America for helping to provide facilities. Once you have that, youngsters are going to go and exert their energies and develop. Fending away. I wonder if that one carried to his hand. But Jam was flinching, trying to get it out of the way, and it went in the air.
Good effort by Mr. Clinton. He receives a bit of a pat on the back from his teammate as well. Looks as though the over has now come to an end. 2 overs completed, and the score 9 for 2. Well, the score has actually been corrected now to reflect 10 for 2, and that is the state of affairs after 2 overs. They need an additional 137. And Jacobus Pinar is going to continue along his merry way, picked up a wicket in his very first over, and looking for some more glory here, Naeem Chan.
Well, these guys are all pretty lanky cricketers. Left armer. It's giving it generous air. St. Louis on the pressure here. Dallas squad pretty well compact. I don't think they got the score that they wanted, but it's a fighting score. And what I've noticed in the tournament so far, it's just about an average. If you can get to about 150, you seem to be quite sure and you can have some confidence. There haven't been a lot of big scores. You got a 200 today. They had one yesterday, I think, somewhere. 180. So not a lot of big scores.
The bowlers have been good. Might be a case of a bit of indifferent stroke play at times. Some batters just giving away their hand nonetheless. Good pressure being applied from the fielding side so far. 5 dot deliveries from Pinar so far in the second over. He's looking to complete a maiden here. In he comes. And maiden completed. Well bowled, Jacobus Pinar.
Well, he's quite a cricketer. Had an enterprising, a little cameo. Now he's coming back with the ball. St. Louis, long journey ahead, 147 required. They're going at a very slow pace. Look at that run rate, 3.33. It's not necessarily a heavy asking rate, nevertheless. Just 8.06, just over 8 per over, can get them home. That's sad to say. This is not the start that they envisaged. And so they've really off to a bad start.
I think Rishabh Shimpi will remain in the attack. In for a second over. In he comes. Jam is driving this one through the cover area. Is it going to go for 4? Seems to be holding up just short of that boundary. Yes, not quite carrying. Maybe a lack of timing on that occasion, even though he picked the gap, not enough pace on it. But they end up running a couple.
Now, Shimpy is just guilty of lagging down the leg side. There's no one there for a catch, really. So you're not benefiting from lagging down the leg side. He's done that in the previous over. But I like his aggression. Short. Pulled away. The restriction on the field is not going to get into the boundary. Yes, it does. Nice shot because it's pretty high up. Shimpy is a tall guy, so he's pulling it down into the pitch, getting it to lift. So that's a good shot there from Kanata.
He likes it short. He's gonna go after it if it's in his arc. Most of these top order batters love to pull and cut. So you don't want to be giving him that much room if you are Rishabh Shimpy.
And that one is further up into the bat. So Kanata gets it under control. Anxious moment here for St. Louis.
The young man bowling with his tail up. He's got a wicket in his first over. Seems to be generating decent pace.
Yes, he's pretty pacey. I think he's the fastest I've seen in the tournament. We've only seen about 4 and 4-8 teams driven away. Kanata enterprising. It's not going to get there. Just not getting the energy. So Kanata is not firing on all cylinders. One of them is malfunctioning, so he's not getting to the ropes.
Yeah, they are playing the big shots. Just not middling it, just not timing it as well as they would like at this stage. But they've got to remain positive, Naeem. Run rate of just 5.2 so far.
It's not a big asking rate. You can get there. Now, this is good. Good stuff here, Kanata. Shimpy is pretty quick, and he gets the ball to lift appreciably because of his height. He's pulling it down, and this batsman was getting into position so quickly. Look at this. In a jiffy. Excellent.
Yeah, Arya Kananta onto that one in a flash. Beautiful stroke. Dispatched over the boundary for a maximum. And that brings us to the end of over number 4. The score is 26 for 2. And Kananta is looking good on 15 from 5. His partner, Adnit Jamb, is on 6 from 11.
So I see these captains are not afraid to have variety. Another bowler has been introduced. In the previous innings, this batting side had used 6 bowlers, enterprising in the sweet spot there. Flicked away, but there's a man down at the square leg region.
The new bowler, Amshi De Silva.
Let's go, Kananta, let's go. The previous innings took almost, 2 hours? Or just over? Just under 2 hours. Cracked away, square of the wicket. Nice enterprising innings here from Kananta. That one was a trifle short. He stood up on it and hammered it away.
With an offer, giving himself room, as a matter of fact. The delivery wasn't that wide, but creating space and hitting it into space. 4 more.
This guy's pretty pugnacious, isn't he?
Quite attractive.
De Silva, short and wide, the previous delivery. Cracked away for 4 through the offside. This one is down the leg side. So a bit of work required in the various franchises in the bowling department. Seen good bowlers, and even though some of them were good, you can see that they have the ability. They've been showering down wides.
Short again. And pulled away by Jam. Just saw single on this occasion.
Get it on target here, De Silva. Not on target again. Full toss. And not made use of. De Silva should be reminding himself that he doesn't have such a big score, reasonable score, but not entirely out of the reach of the side chasing. The required rate is just 7.42. That's better. So 32 the board has, the display, but it's actually 34 for 2. And 5 overs gone. So we've been having our little glitches. We confess to that, apologize. But they're having technical issues as well. And I guess all of this will be sorted out. We've got some good boys there working.
And a good boy here, Corey Anderson. Quite the experienced campaigner these days. He's brought into the attack. He didn't do too much with the bat today. How can he contribute to his team's success with the ball?
This is rapid changing of bowlers, right? The captain is not afraid to go into the bowling bag and pulling out new ones, as we saw in the previous innings. When this batting side was bowling, 6 bowlers used. So, in spite of the fact that they've lost 2 wickets here, St. Louis, they're bringing down the required run rate. Short, cracked away. There's a man there. Really nice weather conditions. All sunshine streaming down on the prairie ground. The beautiful outfield, lush green. Pretty smooth as well. Short, whacked away. Got what you deserve there, Corey Anderson. Beautiful shot. He got in position very, very quickly. Have a little look at this. Very quickly behind, getting behind quickly, pulling well as well.
He did do well to get in line with that ball, hitting it exactly where he wanted to.
So Jamin's jamming. Kananta, nice little knock there. Match summary. That's the previous innings at the top. Clinton, 43. Pinar, 33. 21. Maholta, correction. And my tongue is twisting, getting a little tired. St. Louis now off to their chase. What? Few wickets gone down. Kananta, 22 from 9. And that's steadying up. That little outburst from Kananta is steadying up the chase by St. Louis. So it doesn't look too bad, although they've lost 2 wickets. Oh, down the ground, straight back past the bowler. And Anderson is not having a nice time. A 6, a 4, another boundary.
Straight as a die. Arya Kanantha showing Corey Anderson the full face of the bat. And he's accumulated 12 runs off of this over so far.
Just will get a single here, I think, yes. Kananta is quite a batsman to look at. Enterprising. Corey Anderson must be saying, I wonder when this over is going to conclude. That's not the start he wanted.
Yeah, Arya Kanantha, a bit of an underachiever so far. He's played 15 games, just the 97 runs to his name, averaging just 10.
Well, here's the opportunity to come good. That's the end of the power play as well. 47 for 2. He went for 13 there, Corey Anderson. So that run rate is coming down. It's being suffocated and pressed downwards by, in particular, Kananta. And now he's been joined by Jam in bringing down that run rate. 100 needed, or 14.
And now at a rate of just 7.1. Very manageable.
I guess they know that it will be in their interest, the batting side, not to lose a wicket for now. If these two can hold out with the way they're going, it will augur well for this chase. Like sometimes you get the distinct impression that things take too long. The maneuvering and nothing has happened. The batsman is doing some stuff. The umpire is disgusted. So what's going on here? Now that is what that umpire should have been doing since this morning and yesterday as well. Get a hold of this game. Yeah. We're still not getting there. Now the bowler is signaling, the batsman is looking away, the umpire is disgusted. Reverse sweep, 4 runs. Nice shot there. Kananta is very aggressive, isn't he?
The 2 fielders in that area, no problem. A reverse sweep of the highest quality.
Kept it along the ground.
Most definitely. That's always the better option when you're looking to reverse sweep, unless you're confident in your ability to middle it out of the ground. It's always good to try to keep it down if you're a youngster currently observing what's happening. It's a part of the modern game, the innovation. Nonetheless, you can still be a bit responsible even in an attempt to be creative with your stroke play. This one is driven conventionally down to long off just for a single.
Just look at the figures there for Kananta, 31 from 12. Just what the doctor ordered. Now look at the required run rate. On the 7 now. Short. That's going to go over the top of that circle. Malhotra starting off not too nicely, but he's curtailed a little bit. 7 so far.
Bit of a part-time bowler, Sahib Malhotra, just 11 wickets from his 19 matches. He's bowling over number 7. 7 runs conceded so far. Got 2 deliveries remain, and he comes bowling to Adnet Jam, and Jam is sweeping, beats the man at short fine leg into the boundary for 4. What a brilliant stroke.
Andrew tells us 12 so far from the over. .59 for 2 at the end of the over. Now, when Dallas was batting, at 10.3 overs, they had lost a wicket, but there were 56 runs on the board. 7 overs gone here, 59 for 2. It's pretty good going.
Ali Sheikh makes his way into the bowling attack. He's now collecting his marker from the umpire. Where's the number 15 on his back? .51 matches under his belt, 38 wickets to his name, so a good all-rounder.
Straight to the fielder. There's something I remember when I looked at Ali on the back of the shirt. In international cricket, when you're describing them, they try quick run, good running, good cricket, nice fielding. They try to display the name that is pretty uncommon. And you find in India, for example, and Pakistan, you'd have a lot of cans. So you do not put can in your T-shirt. You put Majid or Majid Khan, Imran, as in Imran Khan, to help for identification down the ground. Down the ground. Happy sailings here. Kananta is on fire.
Definitely on the move here. He moves into the 40s. 16 deliveries for his 41 so far. Not a lot to his name with the bat so far in his T20 career. But again, this tournament is designed for young players to rise to the occasion and to establish themselves. And Arya Kananta doing that quite splendidly so far.
Go, Kananta, go. Nice to watch you. In full flight, short this time. It's not going to get a boundary. So we've had 6 and 6, 12 and 2, 14 off the over. And Jam knows that Kananta has things on the control. So I'm going to give a lot of support here. 22 balls for his 18, 8 overs gone, 73 for 2. These guys are charging and getting to that total.
Quite right, picking up the pace. The run rate required now down to 6.1. And their current run rate has advanced quite handsomely to an excess of 9. Good sensible batting, picking their moments, picking their areas well.
63 from the last 5 overs.
Just about 63 runs conceded from the last 5 overs after a sedated first 3. Again, proving that there still is room for you to get your eye in even in a T20 fixture.
Worries here for the bowling side. And Jam just jams it gently into the offside field.
Yes, yeah. It's the same as Jam.
No, Jam get the single.
Yeah.
Was it that ball? Look at that. Look at that. And look where the ball is. Oh, Kananta brings up his 52 in 20 deliveries. Sparkling here. He gets that reverse sweep so accurately.
He's a rising star. Really has played exceptionally well. Didn't put a foot wrong, Naeem Chan.
Now look at the scoring rate that they're going at, 8.82, and the required rate is dropping all the time. He was tied up there a little bit. Good delivery, Malhotra. I think this is the final ball. Oh, that's wide, wide, and sent away. Sent away.
Have a look at this. Adnet Jam looking to take his team out of a jam, get them to a winning total. They're in pursuit of 147, and that 6 is taking them now to 82 for 2.
Look at that required rate. It just keeps dropping all the time. Constantly going down on the 6 now. This is a good display of batsmanship, led by Kananta, 53 from 22 balls, and Jam is giving very critical support. Run a ball for him.
A look at the match summary so far. 146. That's what the Kings 11 Dallas got. Good innings by Clinton and Pinar. And a bit of good bowling from Mohamed Ilyas. Now we've got the St. Louis Americans in response. Looking good on 82 for 2. And 2 set batters. Kanantha, he's on a half century, 53 off of 22. And his partner Jamb, looking good as well, Naeem. 24 at a run a ball.
Yeah, good support. Critical support. And that's intelligent batting. And you can see it. When Jam is batting, he's as cautious as anything. And just trying to turn the strike over to Kananta, who's in full flight.
Some more from Amshi de Silva. In he comes. It's a Yorker length delivery. That's dispatched. Just missing his length a bit too full on that occasion. Looking for the Yorker. And in the slot in the end.
Kananta. This guy is using a lot of brutality, savage brutality, feral ferocity. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the bowlers say to their captains, to their captain of the fielding side, I'm not feeling too well, skipper. Get someone else to bowl. So we saw 1 or 2 good knocks this morning when Chicago Tigers and Metroplex Tracers were there. Boj 77 from 52. Nice shot there. Forcing it into the offside. Thank you, Delvin. Kanantra, I was wondering what's his age. Because this is developmental cricket. And Kananta is stamping his authority. Reminding the selectors. Nudging them along. I need to get to that major league.
He's demonstrated experience beyond his years here today. Still a teenager. He's only going to be 20 as at the 23rd of September.
That's what I was looking for, and this is what I'm seeing. I want to see the teenagers being groomed into the minor leagues, given a chance. And that's how American cricket is going to grow. White ball signaled by the umpire. De Silva doesn't like the idea. Well over the batsman's head.
Looking to test the batter on that occasion. A bit too short, according to the umpires. White signaled. We'd like to see this kind of aggression from a fast bowler, especially after being hit for a maximum earlier on in the over. Can't just put your tail between your legs and surrender. Got to show some fight.
Good cricket. That's what we want to see. He was going with another bumper. Kananta, I think, well, he wasn't in total control. Quite fortunately, he got it out of the way, protected his wicket. Look where they've raced to. 92 already. At 10.3, I mentioned this to you. Dallas, they were 56 for 3. 92 for 2 in under 10 overs.
So fast bowlers are passionate by nature, and Amshi De Silva, he really looks to have a bit of fire in his belly. He's come back well in this over after being hit for 6. The first delivery, just singles after that. And a dot ball to end. Good work from De Silva. And that brings us to the halfway mark. 10 overs completed. And the St. Louis Americans, they're 93 for 2.
In cruise control.
Exactly what the doctor would have ordered. A couple of set batters in a run chase at the halfway mark, still at the crease. 8 wickets in the hut. It's theirs to lose from this point, Naeem Chan.
Well, 10 overs, halfway mark. They're going to have a little bit of refreshment, a little bit of discussion and strategizing. So let's take some leave as well in the com box. And we strategize here. So, nice little break. Resumption of action. And Delvin has been doing some extra work in the commentary box because I'm always so anxious. Because this is termed a developmental league, I'm anxious to check on players' age to see if Cricket USA is achieving that. Now, this guy, Jam, he's 16. And the other brother, the other Jam that is dismissed, he's 19. And Kananta is 19. Encouraging. Give them a chance. That's the only way your cricket will develop. So you know that America is on the move. Good sign. As I mentioned to you, that I was invited to one of the league meetings. That's 2 decades ago. I wasn't impressed at all. So the new administration coming on board just about 2 decades ago, you can now see that they're on the move. Academies, nurturing, schoolboys, that's the way to go. In the air, he's going to get some runs here. Man out at cover.
Jacob Espinal, he's been good. Really did have a good all-around day so far. Into his third over, he's picked up a wicket, conceded just the 8 runs, and did play a handy innings with the bat. Ended up on 33 not out, propelling his team to a total of 146 for 5. These two batters looking to take the game away from the Kings 11 Dallas side. Teenage sensations doing well for Team St. Louis.
Nice flight. Giving it a belly full of air. And the batsman just plodding forward, pushing it away, gently defending. Over number 11, gone. 97 for 2. They're well on course. And when that asking rate was 8 point something, I kept pointing it out to you. Look where it has gone to. Under 6. And all because of Kananta, enterprising, 27 ball 62, and Jam giving absolute support, 31 ball 29.
Always good to see great talent manifesting itself into great performances. And it's safe to say that these youngsters would have been included in the setup just because of their talent. And that talent coming to fruition in the minor league 2025. So good to see.
And the focus must be facilities. If youngsters don't get facilities, you can't nurture the talent. You look at football, the most popular sport in the world, Brazil and the European countries, England, facilities are given to them. So from a young, tender age, they're venturing out. Shimpy is back. One for 22 from his 2.1 overs. May not be reflective of what the potential we're seeing in him. He's been the quickest so far we've seen.
Non-drive. The fielder, Malotra, picks up long on, just a single in the end.
I'm looking at Jam, and I'm looking at the role he's playing. And at his tender age, he knows what is required of him. I'm just here to give support. And he's doing that.
Attempted Yorker. Well played, Adnid Jam. Now 130 from 32. This one is short from Shimpy and dealt with accordingly.
I wonder what Jam is saying in his mind. Everybody's cheering Kananta. Let me get on with this a little bit. Give me some kudos. Well, there you go. Kudos to you.
Really is some scintillating stroke play we're seeing here from two young batters. Shimpy once again on the pads, flicked into the leg side for easy runs. They're making this chase look like a walk in the park. A lot of hard work was put in while in the field from these Americans to limit themselves to only a total of 147 for victory. And so far, it has been quite the outstanding run chase, quite disciplined. And these young batters, Naim, they've shown maturity beyond their years.
Absolutely. Flurry of strokes from Kananta. End of the over, 105. For the loss of 2, just in case you joined us late, this commentary is originating out of Houston, Texas, at the Prairie Complex, cricketing complex. And you're watching the minor league, America's developmental league, to churn out talents like what you're seeing. Kananta, 19 years old, and Jam, 16. So they're achieving what they've set out to do, not the batsmen alone, but the administration of cricket. Good work, good luck. So it's the minor league. That's what you're watching. Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. So that's what we're greeting you with. Hope you're in high, nice spirits, as we are. It's nighttime in my country. Mid-afternoon in Houston, Texas. Lots of difference in the zone, the time zones. So wherever you are, we greet you and welcome you to our broadcast. Outside edge. Jam not in total control, looking for the ball to be driven straight down the pitch. Got the outside edge.
Adam Khan in for his first over. Bit of a wrist spin in over number 13. And this one, it's hoisted over the mid-wicket boundary. Kananta, he's in a no-nonsense mood. He moves into the 70s. Talk about a sweet strike. There she goes, up, up and away.
Well, earlier you gave some stats of Kananta that he wasn't living up to expectations. And I mentioned, well, here's the opportunity. And he has seized it. Look at the figures there, 76 of 32 balls.
Back-to-back sixes here in over number 13. First over mid-wicket and then straight down the ground. A match-winning performance here by young Arya Kanantha. Well supported by the even younger Adnid Jam. Sweeps this one. There's a field at deep backward square. Did it carry?
So we're just waiting because the flick of the camera, by the time it flicked across to see if the catch is taken. Let's see now. Yes, good catch. Kananta goes.
Well judged catch in the end. It was all guns ablaze from Arya Kanantha. In the end, he's got to go for 76 off of 33. Match-winning innings, in my opinion, already. Adam Khan, a bit expensive nonetheless. He's going to feel happy and relieved to claim the scalp of Kanantha, who was definitely on the go. It was a great innings to watch, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing a lot more from him. So just 29 more required. The asking rate, a meager 4 runs per over.
Paltry. But that's what you get when you don't score sufficiently. I thought that 146 would have been okay, difficult depending on your start. But look how it's turned out. 118 for 3 in over number 13 only. Kananta's gone. Brilliant knock. Enterprising is a better word. Entertaining. But he's really put them right up on the rostrum, sitting.
Yeah, really has put them into quite the commanding position in this match. I reckon Adnid Jam, he's going to be eyeing a 50 here as well. He finds himself on 36 at a run a ball. Really did play a good supporting role. Now it is the time for him to take up the mantle and pick up from where his partner Arya Kanantha would have left off. Saif Badar, the new batter in.
Welcome back, Corey Anderson.
He's got a healthy average so far in his career, averaging 43. 218 runs accumulated already in just the 9 matches, Saif Badar.
A big swish outside the off stump. High expectations. Not getting the outside edge. Corey Anderson coming back. None for 13. That first over that he bowled, he was traumatized, taken off, and he's come back. Yeah. "13 runs coming off Corey's first over. So he's been brought back because the bowling side, the Dallas people, they're not making inroads. And so the captain is being forced to switch around. Nicely chopped, but there's a man there. Better over for Anderson.
The Pakistani Saif Badar has played List A cricket in Pakistan, 27 years old. So relatively experienced at this stage and at this level.
He's showing some disgust because he's not getting it. Missing, or when he gets it, straight to a fielder. I don't think he should get upset. This is only over number 14. They need 28. 28 more runs. They've got 6 overs left after this. Missing again, but that one kept a little bit low. Frustration stepping in here for Badar. And just look at that required rate. We were monitoring it since it was 8 and 7, 6, 5. Now it's on the 5.
And even after 5 consecutive dot balls from Corey Anderson, this is in fact quite the remarkable over. Can he complete the maiden? He sure can. Well bowled, Corey Anderson. It's a maiden over number 14. The score remains on 119 for 3. "28 runs needed for victory. And we would have just witnessed the second maiden over in these St. Louis American innings. We also had a maiden, of course, from Jacobus Pinar, who finds himself back into the attack to complete his spell. It's been tight stuff from him so far. 1 wicket for just 9 runs off of 18 deliveries. He's in to bowl his 4th and final over. Can he get another wicket?
Nicely stabbed into the onside. So Jam has really settled in, but he's not changing anything. 36 from 36 balls. He's going run a ball. And what I like about his concentration, he's looking at the score and he's saying, and I don't need to play anything erratic. Nothing extraordinary. I can get there. Just take my team home.
Exactly so, Naim. He doesn't need to do anything extraordinary. He doesn't have to do anything outside of what he would have been doing so far. Again, I'm not sure what kind of a personality he has, but a lot of cricketers, a lot of batters in particular, they would be thinking either to get to a half century or to remain unbeaten. You know, those are small targets, small individual targets that sometimes batters set for themselves that can be in their best interest.
Badar is struggling. And it's okay because you've got a lot of time. Just worm your way to that target.
Now moves into the 40s. Adnet Jam. Not a single, an off for two. Badar. One delivery remains in over number 15.
This has been a good reply by St. Louis. Really worked their way up. Thanks to Kananta. Short.
Pull away for a single, and he's going to keep strike. That brings us to the end of over number 15. 5 overs remain. And the St. Louis Americans, they need an additional 21 runs just at a run rate of 4.2. Set batter, Adnet Jambi's played well for 41 off of 40. His partner, Saif Badar, quite content to take his time and edge over the line.
There we go. Kananta at the bottom leading the way. 7-6 from 33 balls. Good contributions right around the table. Jam 41 from 40 balls. Beautiful innings. Controlled. Good temperament. $21 required.
And a misfield. He was attacking the ball after it was hit in his direction. It's what you want to see, but you've got to keep your eyes on it. No excuses there.
Good thing to note that the fielding side, they're keeping their energies up, hypered, and that's a good sign. They have not resigned. 19 now required. That's the idea. Nothing extravagant. Let's run these singles. Let's go home on the home run in a nice way without losing wickets here. Good thinking. The idea is winning, not winning in style. If you've got the expertise and all the Chris Gales and the Kohlis, they want to win in style. But the idea is getting home, getting over the line. Look at that. Short ball, still caution being exercised.
And they're able to capitalize from an overthrow. Most professionals would tell you, Naim, a win is a win. Matters not how that victory comes, as long as you're in the winner's column at the end of the day's proceedings. $17 more runs required. We're into over number 16. This one is striking, Jam on the pad. Good delivery from Corey Anderson. They still managed to scamper through for a single.
Game just about winding down. 26 balls available. 16 runs to get. And for the age of Jams, just 16. And he's kept his head. Outside edge, gone. Badar, goodbye. He's gone.
Yes, Saif Badar unable to stay until the end. Corey Anderson picking up a consolation wicket. He's got figures of 1 for 18 so far. One delivery shy of his third over.
So the overthrow that didn't complete the single. The run turn baka
Good.
I still like and admire the fighting spirit of the Dallas, the boys there. Yeah, they've still been chatting. I don't think there's much to chat, but what they got to hope for is get the wickets, and you still got 6 to get, so they've probably have to think about containment. Can we hold these men without giving away the runs, have more dot balls? Even that is a tall ask for the fielding side.
I think the partnership with Kanantha and Adnet Jamb really did do just about enough already to ensure that the St. Louis Americans will, in fact, be victorious in this fixture. As they would say, the proverbial horse is just about bolted.
But Kananta laid the foundation, caused what can now be described as collateral damage.
And a good end to the over from Corey Anderson. Score remains at 131 for 4 after 16. And the St. Louis Americans require an additional 16 runs for victory off of 24 deliveries.
But since my comments about spilling and lots of wides, since yesterday, the trend continued today. For the longest while, I'm not seeing a lot of wides being bowled. 1 from this over, Corey Anderson. De Silva is back. Let's see what he can do. He's pretty aggressive.
Vinakota gets off the mark immediately.
I'm looking at De Silva's personality. Looks like he wants to fight. Well, it's a battle out there. Try and get the wickets. But he's pretty serious. And he portrays that also in his bowling. Looking to be as aggressive as he can. Ah, just missed it there. Sorry, De Silva. Go and come again.
Straight back to him, not able to hang on. Amshi De Silva looking for gold, looking for a wicket, creating the opportunity, unable to hold on. Big swing and a miss once again.
This guy is angry. Look at him. And he means nothing. Perhaps quite a pleasant personality off field. But he's always in a hustle. punched away. It's crawling along now, St. Louis. When Kananta was there, it was a different kind of scenario.
Yeah, the runs really did flow off the bat of Arya Kananta today. One of those days he's going to remember as a batter for quite some time. Singles will definitely get them over the line. 2 deliveries remain in this, the 17th over. And once again, Adnit Jab just contented to push that into the offside for a single.
I don't think Jam is watching the scoreboard. He's uninterested. My team, 16 years old, he's thinking very maturely. My team, I just want to get them over that line. 30 now required. And I see a pinch of hope in the style of the fielders out there from Dallas in the air. They're hoping to get a wicket, hoping to contain, to bring this thing down to the end. The fielding side is looking for that. Jam is extra cautious, not taking any chances as well. 3 overs remaining, 1-3-5 for 4.
Yeah, they've got their 4 runs required. That's all they need. 12 more runs from the final 3 overs.
No unnecessary chances. That's what they're discussing. Let's get home there. And then I'd like to see now, because I like to see good cricket, I'd like to see a couple of dead dot balls, 2, 3, 4 dot balls, and let's bring some anxiety onto the game, bit of tension.
Corey Anderson has bowled 1 maiden already so far. If he bowls a maiden here, it's down to a runner ball once again, or back up to a runner ball. Not quite. They get a single immediately.
I would like to see the captain, because the batsmen are not aggressive, I'd like to see the captain plug closer fielders, plug the gaps, because these guys are thinking, we're going to get home by singles, in and out, we'll have a double. So if you can plug 1 or 2 of those gaps and just keep it as tight as possible, that's the fielding side.
Jam now moves on to 48. Make that 49. Overthrown off and taken. So 1 shy of a well-played half-century here from young Adnit Jam, 16 years old, rising to the occasion here in the minor league at the Prairie View in Texas.
Look, kid, get that single and get your half century. Don't make anybody nervous here. 9 required. 15 balls. That's it. 54 Jam, good knock, very, very controlled, cautious, added a few boundaries. So 50 off 48 balls. He's been going like that for the entire innings, almost run a ball.
They're quite pleasing, to say the least. This is what you want to see from young talent when given the opportunity. So congratulations to you, Adnit Jam. You got yourself a half century, and it should be in a winning effort. This one is driven through the covers and just holds up inside of the boundary. Let's see how many will they run. Fielder also misfields in an attempt to pick that ball up just inside of the boundary rope.
A new dimension is added here. They ran 3 just now, so just 4 required. But the rains are here, unwelcomed, uncalled for. Nobody invited them. And I hope they have some covers. This is going to stretch things a little bit. But it's a heavy shower, as you can see. I hope this doesn't continue for long. And I don't see anyone coming out with any kind of covers. So if that gets soaked and damaged, we're going to have another way of calculating. And if they go to calculation, I think St. Louis is quite safe.
Yeah, most definitely. If it does come down to our good friends, Masters, Duckworth, Lewis, and Stern, St. Louis Americans should be very well ahead. And it looks unlikely that they will return. A bit of a disappointing end to this match. Welcome back to our viewers. We've just received the official word that is the conclusion of the match as a result of the rains coming down. And according to the DLS method, the St. Louis Americans have won by 15 runs. The par score would have been 128. So being on 143, they have secured a 15-run victory. So we say congratulations to Team St. Louis. And of course, we're going to join you when we've got some more games for you. But for today, we want to say good night and thanks for tuning in.